Hello and welcome to ShameOver, where you can lose the hangover, not the booze. I'm your host, Erica Mallery, and this is a podcast for those interested in moderation and drinking less and who want to find peace and balance in their consumption. I am on this journey with you, and I am proof that you can drink less without going cold turkey or all out sober. If this sounds good to you, let's get started. Hello and welcome back to ShameOver. I'm your host, Erica Mallery, and today we are talking Thanksgiving Day, or the big game, whatever's coming up for you that you know it's going to be a big day of stress, maybe a lot of fun, socializing, but a lot of booze and or food and or what we need help with moderation around. So this is a day of drinking strategies to really help with your nervous system regulation so that you can enjoy without it having to be all about the hangover that leads to the shame spiral, that leads to anxiety, all that junk. So with that, go back if you haven't already. The episode before this is all about how you can prep leading up to it. So great option for really any time, but especially if you have time before the big day, there's some great thoughts in there. But today we're focused on day of drinking, day of consumption, day of regulation. So one reason why this is so important is today of all days, or, really big days, holidays, events, anything along those lines, there's actually a science behind why we can get sloppy a little quicker than we probably normally do. Number one is cortisol. When our cortisol spikes or when it's totally out of whack, it makes drinking feel that much more rewarding, because when our cortisol is out of whack, when it's through the roof, when our stress is like, we are looking for something instantaneous to help calm us down. Alcohol does that. It has worked consistently every time that we've essentially used it. That's why we love it. That's why we keep going back to it. It's that quick hit, that consistent fix that works every time. But the problem is when our cortisol has spiked, our nervous system is super dysregulated. So alcohol, being this instant relief, is actually the worst thing for our nervous system, especially long term. As we're going through the day, our blood sugar is going to be dipping, unless we're perfect at this, which there's no such thing as perfect, but we're really good at maintaining. It doesn't happen. So when our blood sugar dips, because we're going longer without eating because we want to save the calories for the big meal, or we're trying not to eat because of all the calories we're going to have, whatever, this just makes our craving stronger and makes it harder for us to say no. It makes it harder for us to stop once we've started, makes it harder for us to not go back for more, all of those things. Another thing is lack of breakfast. If you're not eating, drinking obviously hits harder, it hits faster, it gets us that buzz quicker, which a lot of times that's kind of what we want. But when that happens, all the things that we wanted to do and that we planned to do go out the window. And all we're thinking about is maintaining that buzz, which we can't do. So the more that we drink, we're, thinking we're maintaining it. Instead, we're just doing this for the to come right down. And that's where, the shit show happens, which all of us are trying to avoid. And this is all science. There's no shame involved in this. This is just the science behind why days like Thanksgiving Day, it's a lot easier to get a little sloppy, a little quicker. And I'm here to help you avoid that so it doesn't happen today. It hopefully doesn't happen ever again. So starting out, we're saying morning to noon o'clock-ish. This is your pregame routine. Eat something real. Protein. Protein is going to help stabilize your blood sugar, which when we're stable, we not only don't have the cravings, but it's not as rewarding as when we are either heavily cortisol spiked or big blood sugar drop. So protein is going to be imperative, especially for women, especially for aging women, whether you're premenopause, perimenopause, in menopause, postmenopause, protein is literally your best friend. If you're on a semaglutide, Ozempic, anything along those lines, protein is even more important. So if you're eating less because of whatever reason, focus on protein. I literally try to put nothing in my mouth unless I'm having protein or something with protein. So, it's not just protein, but protein and. So even if I'm having like fruit or something, what is a little bit of protein that I can have with it? So focusing on protein is going to be crucial today and really moving forward for you. So besides that, move your body, especially knowing that you're going to be probably sitting a lot for Thanksgiving, eating more than you probably are used to, drinking more than you're used to. Move your body. I had said previously in the last episode, but even just 10 to 15 minutes of a walk is going to help your stress hormones for hours to come. So making sure that you're moving your body, you can even stretch. So a quick walk, a generic walk, stretching, anything along these lines that are just going to get you in tune with your body is going to help you have a calmer baseline. When we're more calm, we're not as likely to just eat out of habit or to not say to it's easier to say no. It's easier to be mindful and present with whatever we're consuming and whoever we're with. So these are all things that, again, are helpful for nervous system regulation, but being in tune with yourself. Hydration. You guys know I love my element, but any type of hydration where we're front loading, especially on big days like Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, New Year's Day, all of that, front loading water is going to help ultimately with less overpouring, especially if you have the electrolytes in your water. I've always been great at drinking water, but I used to not do the electrolytes, and I noticed a significant difference when I was drinking a lot of electrolytes beforehand, and not a lot, sorry, one packet or whatever that looks like for you. We don't want to, moderation in all things, people. So please don't come back at me with, I drank too much of the electrolytes. Use your common sense. Please be very mindful with this, moderation in all things. But front loading that water, especially with the electrolytes packets, is going to help not only keep you balanced, but it's going to help avoid hangovers as well. So lastly, in your pregame morning routine, breathing, connect with your breath. When we are connected with ourselves, we are able to be more present. We have much more impulse control. We're just able to maintain that balance in us or come down when we do get spiked quicker. So focusing on breaths and grounding breaths. That is going to be either box breathing or focusing on a longer exhale and shorter inhale. So really focus on your breathing. And whenever in doubt, if you're stressed, if you're not sure what to do in the moment, just connect with your breath. Literally 30 seconds, 1 minute is going to be healing and helpful. So next, during the meal or the party, I know for us, we get together mid-ish afternoon, and I'll get into all of that separate as far as why eating midday, early afternoon is one of the best things you can do. But we always get together, we'll say 2:30. So as you're doing this, pace yourself. Focus on pacing. Hopefully you had already come up with kind of your goals, set your intention of what you want your drinking to look like. Intentions, not rules, people. Focus on that. But how can you pace yourself? So that's not drinking in the morning. My favorite thing used to be the mimosas in the morning, but then I would just carry on all day long, right? So start later. Focus on 1 drink per hour max. This is really going to help keep you from crossing the line, because a lot of times we have that drink, that first buzz kicks in, and we're really trying to maintain that. So we keep drinking. Our body can only process 1 drink per hour max. So when we're drinking more than that, it is trying to maintain this buzz, but instead that's when we obviously get drunk. Our body can't get rid of it fast enough. And then that's what leads to the hangovers or the bad decision making and the blacking out and all that stuff. So really focus on 1 drink per hour max. Again, with hydration, following drink. If you're going to double fist, love it. Drink water. Drink water. That is your double fisting from here on out. So with that, sorry, I have some notes so I can make sure I remember everything I'm talking about. But water after every drink, during every drink is great. Making sure that you finish your water before you're allowed, you allow yourself to get another drink is also really, really imperative. Check your body cues. So when you check in with yourself, am I tense? Am I overwhelmed? Am I bored? If we're tense, a lot of times we're drinking to soften the mood, the anxiety, the whatever. If we're overwhelmed, we need to numb, right? We need to block it out. We need to calm the noise. This is all especially imperative for my highly sensitive, deeply feeling people out there, just like me. A lot of people that I work with drink out of boredom. This is filling the space. Again, there is no right or wrong answer for why you're drinking. It's understanding why you're drinking. That is the most imperative thing with this whole journey of moderation or your relationship with alcohol. It's understanding why you're drinking, because until we understand why, we can never fix anything else. So as you're going through this, if you're hosting, one of my favorite rules, my best friend's mother-in-law came up with this, but their rule at their house is we'll pour everyone's first drink if they want it. And then from there, you know where the alcohol is, you can serve yourself. And I thought this was so brilliant because they put the power back in your hands. Like if you want to drink, great, they'll pour you first. But besides that, it's on you. So this really makes it can be a slippery slope for those who have a hard time, with saying no or with overpouring. But for me, if someone's like got a bottle and they're ready to pour me some more wine, it was very hard for me to be like, no, I'm good. So I would just let him pour and be like, I'm not going to drink it. But what would I do? I would drink it every time. So knowing that I would have to go out of my way to get it myself, that is something that I always practice now. I want to be in control of all of the drinks I'm poured. So one piece of advice is whether you're hosting or you're going somewhere, feel free to adapt that. And yes, let them pour your first drink if you're okay with that. And then from there, just say like, if I want more, I'll get it. It's an easy way to take the control back. When we don't do this, a lot of times it's because we don't want to, because we want it to be in someone else's hands, because then if we overdrink, it's not on us. We can place the blame on other people. And that is the people pleaser in us that needs to stop. But also that takes a lot of radical honesty to understand that that's what's going on and accepting that. Because a lot of times it's like, no, I want to be able to drink. And if I say that, oh no, like, sure, whatever, I'm giving up my power to them. When I noticed myself doing this, it's because I didn't want to be accountable. I just wanted to do what I wanted and to not think and to not count and to not track and not to do all that. And at the end of the day, it's just because I wanted to drink, and I wanted to drink likely to get drunk or to not worry about how much I was drinking. So take your power back if you're serious about this. If you don't want to wake up with a hangover, if you don't want to black out or say things you regret, or, we're already more stressed because we're around family who we don't normally see all that much, or there's a lot of people together where we're normally with smaller groups. All of these, especially as HSPs, we feel it so much more. Alcohol helps to calm the noise, to calm the nerves, to quiet things. We have to do better and take it upon ourselves to do that without alcohol. So that is where nervous system tools that can help in the moment are going to be really, really, really important. So I want these to be very easy, very quick, very mom friendly. But one thing you can easily do is put your hand on your chest and just do an exhale. This literally is going to interrupt the urge to drink, the urge spike that we get. Butterfly breaths, you might not do this in the middle of the dining room table with everyone, but butterfly breaths is just literally you tap. You can create a butterfly if you want, but you tap on each and you're breathing as you're doing it. So this is going to help connect with your breath, and it actually helps do kind of what EMDR does with having your brain think of both sides. So that can be something that you can easily do, even if you're like walking from room to room and you're just like, hey, I'll be back. And then you're going to look for the kids, right? Just something like that. It helps bring you into the present moment. Walk to the bathroom. If you have to go to the bathroom every hour, that's fine. If you're drinking water, you're probably going to be going to the bathroom often, but literally even just 30 seconds away can reset the brain. So getting outside, getting the fresh air is even better because that just, our nervous system automatically regulates when we're in nature. So that is one of the best things you could do. But depending on weather, depending on where you're at, if that's not an option, just go to the bathroom. You need that calm space for, again, 30 seconds minimum is going to help. Next, really, really focus on sipping and savoring. This is slowing down. When we're drinking mindfully, we can't overconsume. So sipping and savoring and being present with your drink, it can really reduce your overall consumption and help you to be in the moment. Most of us say that we drink because we enjoy it, right? So if you want to enjoy it, you're going to enjoy it much more if you're sipping it. It's kind of like when you're eating. I remember I would have like, okay, I can only have one more bite. So what would the bite be? This huge freaking bite. That could have been like 8 bites that I could have way more enjoyed than like, but it was just like, no, it's only one more. Same thing. Slow down, sip, savor, enjoy, really be in the moment. When we're in the moment too, we're much more focused on being present. That allows us to be mindful with our bodies. And that's when our body's like, I'm actually good. When I drink slower, I drink so much less because I need far less. I start feeling it. I'm aware that I'm feeling it. I'm aware I don't want to be like that the rest of the night. And I'm just like, okay, I'm good. Same thing with food. When I'm eating slower, when I'm having smaller bites, I'm much more able to stop eating and not have to finish my plate. So on that note, if at all possible, find a smaller plate to eat your meal on. Focus on the protein when you're filling up, turkey or ham or whatever your protein is, but you can feel free to get a little bit of everything, but really focus on eating the protein first. That is going to help with your blood sugar, stabilizing everything. But when we fill up on the protein, we don't need all the other stuff. So it's going to be a lot easier to stop eating when our body is actually happy and content rather than feeling like we have to finish our plate. That is another thing. You do not have to finish your plate. You do not have to finish your cup. You do not have to finish your drink. You do not have to finish anything, right? So reminding ourselves that, because I know a lot of people like me, that is something that was probably ingrained in us as kids. And it's just, it's natural for us to feel the need to finish it. So smaller plate is going to be helpful. A smaller cup is going to be helpful. Just all these little tricks of the trade that you can use. So with that, if your emotions spike, we'll say family tension. It's going to happen most likely for all of us. Delay your drink by at least 2 minutes. Cravings fade fast when we pause. So if things are getting heightened, that's when it's easiest to be like, oh, I'm going to go get a drink. I'll be right back. Mm-mm. You can excuse yourselves, but don't excuse yourself for a drink. That's when we need to push pause on the drink and check in with ourselves so we can calm ourselves down through some of those nervous system regulation techniques that I shared. Just a reminder, the food and drink combo that is really going to keep you steady is focusing on protein and then getting in the carbs. Fat is going to help slow the absorption. And with this, that means drinking on an empty stomach. Not going to happen ever again. We are not in our 20s. I know that was the best thing to do in your 20s. No, we're not doing that anymore. Protein, protein, protein. Throw in the carbs and a little bit of fat, which we're going to have a lot more fat than normal for the holidays. So that's not going to be a problem getting that in. So if you start to feel tipsy, it's not a failure. It's not a morality thing. It is biology. So switch to non-alcoholic water, especially if you can throw some electrolytes in there. But once you're feeling tipsy, give yourself at least an hour until you have any other alcohol. Eating something especially again, that protein carb combo is going to be really helpful. Getting outside for some air. And then that's a perfect time to reassess how you want the rest of the night to go. Once we're feeling tipsy, a lot of times, again, we want to maintain that, but we can't. Our body can only process 1 drink per hour max. So let your body do its job, slow down. This is why I love having your intention in your phone, because it doesn't matter where you are. You can pull it out. Remind yourself your intention. If it's, I want to enjoy, be present, and not be hungover tomorrow, perfect. When you're feeling the buzz, if you look at that intention, it's going to remind you what you want, not only now, but what your future self wants. And it's going to be a lot easier to make the decision in that moment that will be in alignment with what your intention was, as opposed to the easy, low-hanging fruit that we habitually do, which is going for that next drink. So regardless, as you're going through all of this, you don't need to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfection with this. What you do need to be is present. We all know that time is fleeting. We all know that, the one guarantee that all of us have here on earth is that it's not forever. All of us will die someday. And the holidays a lot of times helps us to remember that, for good, for bad, or whatever. But that's why it's so important to focus on being present, to focus on connection, and just being in the moment, not in the chaos. So as you're going through this process, take as many breaks as you need, check in with yourself, and just be in the moment. So remember, you want to feel good tomorrow, not wake up hungover or with the shame spiral, but proud and with memories that you'll be able to look back on. And if you follow these steps, you are going to be able to do that. And again, this is practice. So the more you put in all these things, the more likely you're going to be able to continue doing this from here on out. I do want you to focus on 1 or 2 of these areas, because when we try to do too many things, we get overwhelmed, and that's when the F-it bucket comes out and we just go all in and say, well, who cares? So if it helps, focus on 1 or 2 things max that you're going to do and commit to that. So would love to hear what works for you, what was really helpful. And yeah, this is what I love. So if you are at all interested, I am hosting Hangover-Free holidays. It's the week of Thanksgiving through New Year's Day. So feel free to check out the website for that. And it's basically just coaching, support, accountability, everything you need to get you through the holiday season. I also have the Hangover-Free Holidays workbook that is available now on Amazon. Just search Hangover-Free Holidays, and it's the first thing on the list. So there you go. You can get that ASAP and start working on living hangover-free holidays. And that is not losing the booze. It's only losing the hangover. And you can get that without having to join Hangover-Free Holidays coaching as well. So however I can support, that's exactly what I'm here for. Please let me know. But most of all, just really taking this time, be good to yourself, show love, compassion, grace to yourself and others. And just so grateful for all of you guys for being here, for showing up for yourself and for the work you're doing to get to know you, to fall in love with your perfectly imperfect self, and to just be a better person every day, because you're amazing. And I hope you know that. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. ShameOver is the mindful drinking program designed for women who desire to drink less without losing the booze completely. If you want to transform your relationship with alcohol and live a healthier, confident, and balanced life, go to shameover.me and get started today. You deserve it, you're worth it, your future self thanks you. Cheers!